All right, thank you very much, everyone, for staying to learn a little bit more about the Learning Commons and the Student Success Center this morning with Ann and myself. I'm very pleased to talk to you this morning and give you some brief information about the Commons and the Student Success Center. This has actually been a work in progress for quite some time between the university libraries, OCCS, and Academic Enhancement. And we've all worked really hard to try to bring together a space that will not only enhance the way that students learn, but hopefully help them be better students here at the university.
One of the things that we're doing in our governance team is working out what does it mean to collaborate with three hugely different units on the campus. OCCS is bringing technology and a huge amount of knowledge and lots of practical operations. And Student Success, Academic Enhancement is bringing a lot of services that the library is not aware of or really involved in. And then the University Libraries is bringing its own set of services and resources into the mix. So it's been a really interesting year where we are all learning about what the other people do and how they do it. And what is it going to be in the Learning Commons? And really, we have the building. I'm sure you all have seen the construction. And we don't really know what it's going to look like because it needs to remain flexible and open to changes and open to how we see the students using it. So what is the Learning Commons? Well, we're trying to look at student success in learning. And really, I think it represents a change from an emphasis on teaching to an emphasis on learning, which leaves things way more open. And it includes a staff that is facilitating debate, is there to help no matter what the question is. We're thinking of the student as our primary audience, but also eventually faculty will be there, and we will be helping them as well. The Learning Commons installs technology. And in the roundtable later, we'll talk more specifically about what kinds of technology we'll have, but computers, printers, scanners, everything that we can think of that will help to foster collaborative learning. So it'll be interesting to hear more about group work because we're really trying to foster that in the Learning Commons. We will be offering instruction. We will be offering places for people to actually produce work. And we will be offering lots of assistance in technology and library resources and in student services. We will be supporting information literacy, which is part of the general education program at the university. We will be trying to really help the students understand what it means to do their own research and to figure out how to find the information that they need and how to evaluate it.
So what does a Learning Commons look like? We spent some time looking at other universities' commons spaces, and what we found was that they really were very organic spaces that change as the students need them to change. And so we have some ideas. Number one is messy, and this is going to be a very different way of looking at student learning at Old Dominion University. We're not going to have a quiet library necessarily anymore.
It's not neat. It's not. We're not doing a lot of programming ahead of time to get things nicely neat, set up into little niches. It's messy. It's going to move around. It's going to be defined by the students that use it that day, that week, that month, that year.
Yeah, one of the things that Ann and I have talked a lot about is the programming piece and the need for programming at the Commons and the expectation that people have for programming. And we really wanted to take a step back and just let the Commons unfold and see what the students ask for before we start pushing an agenda with programming and very structured events at the Commons. So it'll be interesting to see what it looks like. What we've done is we've taken some pictures of other spaces, and you'll see that they're functional spaces that allow the students to move the furniture around. A lot of things are on wheels.
One of the things that we've looked at is what is the impact of the space, the environment itself, on the learning process. And one of the things that research has shown is that the environment itself can impact the learning experience, that learning can take place in a social setting. You can see from some of this, it's not pretty. And there
So
things.
there's a study space in the back, but then there's a social space right next to it.
So there's places for people to group together to talk, because we're assuming that the social situation will allow conversation, collaborative learning, and opportunities to develop ideas to be creative. Everything's going to be on wheels. They can move anything around. In all the Learning Commons we've visited, or the representatives who've come and talked here, the staff come in every morning and the furniture is in entirely different places. They just either leave it or move it back, and then the students change it all over again the next day. So it's very, very flexible. Most of the people who have been involved in Learning Commons in universities across the country found that comfort, color, they add to the experience in very, very positive ways. We're trying to put those elements into our space. And that sensory stimulation, having that color, having good signs, having a nice space that people enjoy really makes a difference. Technology support, and also decentralization, where you're letting things just go out there and you're letting it bubble up in every little space in the library, in the Learning Commons, will actually facilitate the learning process for the students in ways that we cannot imagine. So once we see it, then we'll buy more resources, hopefully more equipment, to support the kinds of things that we've seen happen, or we'll build services, or we'll try and do programming based on the successes that we've seen in the Learning Commons, and also in the successes we hear from faculty whose students make use of the Learning Commons. So some of the things that we're planning are all the movable workstations where students can actually change them around. We'll have separate, I think there's 6 collaboration rooms, which are closed off, and some small ones, some larger ones, where students can go in and work as groups and be as noisy as they like. We'll have a lot of mediascape stations where there'll be a central large monitor. The students can bring their laptops, hook into that station, and then they can all work together on their laptops, but on one monitor that they can easily see. We'll have a media innovation lab where students can go and actually create presentations. We'll have a presentation room where they can come in and practice a presentation that they're going to be giving as a group project in one of their classes. We will have the library instruction lab. Writing tutorial services will have a room in the Learning Commons, and we'll schedule time for students who want to use that service. Math and Science Resource Center will have a room in the Learning Commons, and we'll have an educational accessibility room with equipment designed to help students who need specialized applications especially. And all those spaces, when they're not being used for their intended purpose, will be available for students just to come along. We hope to have a reservation panel outside each door. So if it's not in use by a class or by an already scheduled group, a student can just come in and use it for study or use it for their own group that just got formed that morning and they had to go work on a project for a class. So we're hoping to be really, really flexible.
And this space will be open 24/5.
Yes.
With extended hours on the alternate 2 days. So we're hoping that it's used pretty frequently in the evening hours when we know students are typically studying and thinking about getting down to business with writing assignments.
It'll open Sunday morning 9 o'clock and remain open till Friday at 7. And then close down, and Saturday will be more limited hours. So it's going to be a really different staffing situation, a really different service situation for our students on campus.
The back of the building, I'm sure you've also seen the construction for the new Student Success Center. And quite simply, this space is to help students be better students. If there's one thing that I can ask for you to do for us today, is to encourage students who aren't necessarily in academic difficulty to come to this space. I think we have a stigma on this campus that if a student's in academic difficulty, that's the only reason why they would seek out success services, and we really need to move away with that. So really this space is for students at any level who want to be a better student. You know, the 2.8 student who wants to get onto the dean's list, the student who has a 3.5 who's trying to attain a 4.0. This will be the place where the students can come to be better students. So just quite simply, how to be a better student is what we should be doing at the Success Center. So who's in the Success Center? This is a partnership between Academic Enhancement and Student Affairs. And you'll see that we have quite a few services that will be in the building on the 2 floors. The first floor will have a centralized welcome desk, and this really is going to be the full service facility where if a student comes in and maybe doesn't know where he or she needs to go for help, that desk will either escort the student to the appropriate location in the building, or we're also thinking about providing a service where we'll escort them to the appropriate building on campus. So it'll be a full service facility for the students to find the appropriate resources for their own needs. Experiential learning and testing will be in the suite, and educational accessibility will also be moving from Web Center into the building with us, which we're really excited about because we do partner with Kate and Beth Ann often with their student populations. New student and parent programs will also be coming from Web Center. Peer educator programs, which you'll be hearing a little bit more about, will also be on the 2nd floor. This will be the group of individuals who train peer mentors on campus. So if you have a student who is a peer mentor in your office, or if you're interested in coming up with a peer mentor or a peer educator program, this will be the division who will assist students with the training and the skills that they need to be successful in that role. Academic Enhancement Dean Suite will also be on the 2nd floor. Honors College will be on the 2nd floor. Advising and transfer programs will be moving from Web Center, and this comprises several offices. I'm sure you're aware we have first year and transfer advising and programming in this, but we also are expanding into sophomore programming and, of course, the ever popular academic continuance and suspension. And then finally, student support services will be moving into the building as well, and that's TRIO and Upward Bound. If you'd like to learn more about the Commons and the Success Center, we'll be holding 2 roundtables this afternoon. We have a ton of information here. If you're a faculty member who's interested in finding out how the Commons or the Success Center can help you in your curriculum design, we'd be happy to speak with you about that as well. Anything from you?
We're not sure exactly what opening day will be. We hope to be open before the start of fall semester. Most of the exterior construction in both the buildings is finished, and now they're working on interior things.